Indiana Fever front office is in serious trouble for revealing some major information.
The Indiana Fever just got embarrassed in a way that's hard to believe. And yes, Caitlin Clark is right in the middle of it. The truth is, this team making millions off Clark doesn't even have a scouting staff. Zero. None at all. And there's proof out there. Let's dig in, because this whole story feels like a joke. Would you put your trust in a team with no scouts to build around Caitlin Clark? Or do you think management is setting her up for failure? Here's where the mess began. Stephanie White, the Connecticut Suns coach, was giving some simple comments about a new player, Kira Lambert. Pretty standard stuff, right? Talking about how Lambert studies the game, prepares well, and already knew part of the playbook before she hit the court. Normal coach talk, nothing strange.
And especially with the front office and you, whatever it takes to go find these players because they're available.
Yeah.
And is it film study? Is it calling other coaching connections? What is
all
this
the above?
like?
Right. It's all the above. It's seeing film, watching clips, talking to contacts and connections. Bree and especially has been super helpful in this. She's got a lot of contacts overseas who have seen Kyra, for example, play a lot overseas. Teammates that she's had that are over there that have played with her, against her. Same thing with Odyssey. All three of our assistant coaches coached her in AU, so they have some familiarity with her. So it really is all hands on deck in trying to get the best person possible.
But then she slipped up. She revealed that Phoenix Mercury's Brianna Turner, an active player, found Kira Lambert while overseas, and suddenly the alarms went off. Hold on. How is a current player doing scouting work? Why is someone in the league out in Europe basically recruiting for another WNBA team? And why is the Fever, who should have actual staff for this, depending on players to fill in as scouts?
Had Kyra been on your radar previously? Like, had she been a name that came up earlier in this process?
No.
So now that you've seen her play a little bit and having scouted a little bit, what is it about her that makes her the right fit for this
Well, I think number one, her preparation. From the initial phone call that Amber and Kelly had to, our conversations. She's been watching the team. She's studying what we're doing, studying how we've played opponents on both ends, what we've done to attack, what we've done on the defensive end. Reminds me a little bit of Ari when she came in and really already kind of had some of the playbook down. Her ability to get downhill. She's got some speed and quickness as well. So all of those things are what we need and what we miss without having.
That's when things started to get interesting. Because fans online, shout out to Allison on X, started pulling out proof. She highlighted something shocking. The Indiana Fever, the same team riding Caitlin Clark's stardom to break records. In jersey sales and TV ratings doesn't even have a scouting department. You heard that right. They're running a professional basketball team in 2025 like it's some weekend rec league where the coach's cousin just calls a buddy to recommend players.
Hold up, wait a minute. How the hell do Bree Turner discover her player? She's no scout. She's no recruiter. How the hell? She's supposed to be focusing on the season of bad she playing. Y'all got Bree Turner scouting players?
Now let's compare them to the Indiana Pacers. The Fever's NBA brothers have 8 listed scouts. 8. These guys travel, watch film, go to games, and do all the hard work so the Pacers can draft and sign the right players. Meanwhile, the Fever? 0. Not one official scout on record. No one whose job is to find and judge talent. So how do they even run things? I'll tell you how. They freeload off anyone they can, whether it's assistant coaches who know somebody or players, like Bree Turner casually suggesting someone they played with overseas. It's unreal. And the wildest part? This all came out right when Caitlin Clark has completely turned the Fever into a money-printing machine. Remember, 2 years ago, Indiana was last in attendance and totally irrelevant. Nobody cared. They were forgotten. Then Clark came in as the #1 pick, college basketball's golden star, and suddenly the Fever are selling out arenas, breaking viewership records, and tripling their merchandise sales. That's what people mean when they say, the Clark effect. She's literally carrying the league's financial reputation on her back.
You lied to me. I think they merchandise sales was up like 300%. Y'all done made all them millions off CC effect.
And yet the front office still won't hire scouts. They're drowning in Clark money, but when it comes to actually building a roster around her, they cut corners like a sketchy used car lot. This is where the sarcasm writes itself. You mean, to tell me you've got a once-in-a-generation player, the most hyped rookie women's basketball has ever seen, and you think it's smart to skip out on scouts? Are we serious right now? Fans quickly called out how bad this looks. Some, even, shared screenshots of the Fever's staff page compared to the Pacers. The Pacers had pages filled with scouts, development staff, and analytics experts. The Fever had ticket reps, marketing people, and a couple of assistant coaches, but no scouts. Imagine bragging about record-breaking jersey sales while admitting you have no plan to build a title team around your star. Even casual fans can see how bad that is. And let's not ignore the deeper issues. Caitlin Clark, a white superstar, is the one bringing in the big money. Meanwhile, black players like Bree Turner are the ones doing extra unpaid work just to keep things moving. Think about that. The Fever's front office is letting current players play scout while profiting from Clark's fame. That's not just lazy, it's exploitative. But the bigger picture is this. This isn't only a Fever problem, it's a WNBA problem. Other teams, like the Chicago Sky and Minnesota Lynx, also don't list scouting departments. So what's the league's plan? Just wing it? Just hope players keep suggesting their friends overseas and call that talent development? The NBA spends millions on scouting because they know it's the difference between winning and losing. The WNBA seems fine running on vibes, and that's where the Caitlin Clark effect becomes dangerous. It hides how weak the system really is. If Clark weren't here, nobody would even notice the Fever don't have scouts. But now the spotlight is on and the league's flaws are crystal clear. You can't cover incompetence when millions are watching Clark every week. Let me make it simple. Caitlin Clark is expected to bring in more than $100 million in value to the WNBA this season from TV, tickets, and merchandise. The Fever, specifically, have sold out games they never would have before. But where's the money going? Not to scouting? Not to roster building? No. It's probably going into more marketing campaigns while Clark gets hit in the face every game because the team won't give her the right support. And this ties back to that Wall Street Journal piece claiming Clark's rights are being violated by the way she's officiated. It might sound dramatic, but zoom out. It's part of the same picture. The league is squeezing every drop from Clark's popularity while doing nothing to protect her or build her foundation. That's why people like Stephen A. Smith warn that, if politics step in, it could blow up on the WNBA. They're leaving themselves open because they refuse to handle business. Now, the Fever's front office will likely spin it as, scouting is collaborative. We rely on coaches, on relationships. Translation, we're too cheap to hire scouts, so we just ask around and hope it works. That might fly in high school, ball, but this is supposed to be pro basketball. And all this is happening while the league begs for bigger pay, more TV deals, and more respect. The irony is painful. If you want higher salaries and more credibility, you can't skip the basics. Scouts aren't optional. They're the backbone of any good team. The NBA didn't turn into a billion-dollar empire by letting players recruit friends overseas. They built the structure, invested in the boring but essential stuff, and made the product stronger. The WNBA wants NBA salaries but still acts like it's being run from a garage. And that's where Caitlin Clark is in real trouble. Her prime won't last forever. She's already taking hits in a league that doesn't fully protect her. If the Fever keep running things like amateurs, her career could be wasted before it starts. You can't lead a franchise to championships if management won't even hire people to find the right teammates. That's why this mess is bigger than just a silly oversight. It shows how little the WNBA has put into its own future. And here's what the Fever don't seem to get. Scouting isn't just about finding talent, it's about building the right team around Clark. She needs shooters to spread the floor, defenders to ease double teams, and bigs to run pick and rolls. None of that happens by accident. You need scouts who understand what fits around her. Instead, the Fever are gambling with her career. They're basically saying, maybe this overseas player works. Maybe one of our assistants remembers someone. Maybe a player has a buddy who can hoop. That's not a plan. That's desperation. And think about how it looks. Imagine being Caitlin Clark. You've given the WNBA its biggest ratings boost ever, brought in millions, and then you find out your team doesn't even have scouts. That's not just neglect. That's a slap in the face. It says, we don't care about winning. We just care about selling your jerseys. If she'd been drafted into the NBA, would this happen? No chance. The Pacers would never waste Tyrese Halliburton's prime without a full staff. But with Clark, they cut corners, because she'll sell tickets anyway. That's how you ruin a superstar before she peaks. And here's the sarcasm again. The WNBA wants respect, more money, more coverage, but at the same time admits it doesn't even have scouts. That's like demanding 5-star ratings while serving instant noodles. You can't have it both ways. Either invest like a real league, or accept you're running a semi-pro setup with one superstar carrying it. And here's what the Fever's front office doesn't understand. You can't fake a system forever. Once Clark's rookie contract ends, she has to ask if Indiana is really where she should spend her career. And if the answer is, we're too cheap to hire scouts, don't be shocked if she looks to expansion teams or free agency where management actually cares about winning. This whole fiasco could have been avoided with the smallest effort. One scout, just one. Hire someone full-time to find players and none of this blows up. Instead, the Fever exposed themselves as a team chasing quick money over long-term growth. And if that's their approach, Clark's career has a countdown, because no star can thrive in a system that refuses to support her. So congrats, Indiana Fever. You landed the most valuable player in women's basketball history and surrounded her with a front office that won't even meet the bare minimum standard of pro sports. Bravo. Really impressive management. The bottom line. The Fever got caught cutting corners, exposed by their own coach's comments, and dragged into the spotlight by fans who actually did the homework. Now the whole league looks bad. Caitlin Clark is the only reason anyone's paying attention. But instead of rewarding her with a strong roster, the Fever are just cashing her checks and refusing to pay for even the basics. That's not just failure, that's sabotage. So here it is. The Fever are making money off Clark but won't even pay for scouts. What do you think? Is this front office ruining her career before it even starts, or is this just another example of the WNBA's poor management? Share your thoughts, hit like, and subscribe for more breakdowns.